Dr. Maya Reeves had dreamed of this moment her entire life. Standing on the observation deck of the research ship Aurora, she watched through the massive viewing window as an alien vessel approached. After 20 years studying space biology, she was about to become the first human to meet another intelligent species. The alien ship looked nothing like the metal boxes humans built. It seemed alive, with smooth curves that pulsed with soft blue light. Maya felt her heart racing as the two vessels connected with a gentle bump that barely shook the floor. Captain Johnson's voice came through the speakers. "Dr. Reeves, they're ready for you in the meeting room. Remember, this is history in the making." Maya walked through the corridors, her hands shaking slightly. She had studied every theory about alien contact, but nothing could prepare her for this reality. The meeting room had been specially prepared with symbols from both cultures, hoping to show good intentions. The door slid open with a soft hiss. Maya stepped inside and stopped breathing. He stood nearly 7 feet tall, but moved with such grace that he seemed to float rather than walk. His skin had a pearl-like quality that shifted from silver to pale gold as the light hit it. His face was angular but beautiful, with large eyes that held depths Maya had never seen in any human gaze. When those eyes met hers, she felt something electric pass between them. "I am Zero of the Celestial People," he said, though his lips didn't move. His voice appeared directly in her mind, warm and musical. "You are the one they call the Knowledge Seeker." Maya found her voice after a moment. "Yes, I'm Dr. Maya Reeves. I study life among the stars. We're honored to meet your people." Zara tilted his head, studying her with obvious curiosity. "Your thoughts are different from what we expected. They have colors we have never seen." "Colors?" Maya asked, fascinated. Despite her nervousness, each thinking being has a unique pattern of mind light. "Yours is unusual, beautiful." As he spoke, his skin shifted to a warmer golden tone, and Maya noticed tiny sparkles of light dancing across his features. The formal introductions continued. 4 hours. But Maya found herself watching Zara more than listening to the diplomatic words being exchanged. She noticed how he moved like water, how his eyes seemed to hold ancient wisdom, and how something in his presence made her feel more alive than she had in years. During a break in the talks, Zara approached her table where she was reviewing her notes. "Your people create symbols to remember thoughts," he observed, looking at her writing. "Yes, we call it writing. It helps us share knowledge across time and distance." Maya showed him her notebook, explaining how the letters formed. Words and words formed ideas. Zara leaned closer to see, and Maya caught a scent like rain on summer flowers. "Fascinating. We share knowledge through touch and mind joining. Perhaps you could show me more of this writing art." Maya's pulse quickened at his interest. "I would love to. Learning is what I live for." "Learning," Zara repeated, and his skin glowed slightly brighter. "Yes, I sense this truth in you. You hunger for understanding like my people hunger for starlight." Their conversation was interrupted by other diplomats returning, but Maya felt like something important had just happened. For the rest of the formal meeting, she caught Zara watching her, his expression thoughtful and intense. The breakthrough moment came during the gift exchange ceremony. Each species had prepared symbolic offerings to show their peaceful intentions. When Maya stepped forward to present a crystal sculpture representing Earth's diversity of life, Zara moved to receive it at the same time. Their hands touched as he accepted the gift. The moment their skin made contact, Maya felt like lightning had struck her. Not painful, but overwhelming in its intensity. Every nerve in her body came alive, and she saw Zara's eyes widen in shock. His skin flashed through a spectrum of colors she had never seen before, ending in a deep violet that seemed to pulse with his heartbeat. They stood frozen like that for several seconds, both staring at their joined hands in wonder. Maya felt warmth spreading from the point of contact throughout her entire body, and somehow she could sense that Zara was experiencing something equally powerful. "Impossible," Zara whispered in her mind, his mental voice filled with awe and something that might have been fear. Maya reluctantly pulled her hand back, immediately missing the connection. What just happened? Zara's skin had returned to its normal pearl-like color, but his eyes remained fixed on her with new intensity. I do not know. This has never occurred before. The ceremony continued around them, but Maya felt like she was moving in a dream. Every time she looked at Zara, she found him watching her with that same expression of wonder and confusion. The air between them seemed charged with electricity, and Maya noticed that other Celestials kept glancing at Zara with what looked like concern. Later, as the formal meetings concluded and both groups prepared to return to their ships, Zara approached Maya one final time. "Dr. Maya Reeves," he said, his mental voice soft and uncertain. "My people will remain in this region for several of your weeks to complete cultural exchanges. Would you be willing to visit our vessel? There is much we could learn from each other." Maya's scientific curiosity battled with something deeper and more personal. She told herself that this was the opportunity of a lifetime for research, a chance to study an alien species up close. But she knew that wasn't the whole truth. Something about Zara called to her in ways she didn't understand. "Yes," she said, surprising herself with how quickly she answered. "I would very much like that." Zara's skin brightened again, and Maya was beginning to understand that this might be his species' way of showing pleasure. "Good. I will send details for your visit tomorrow." I find myself eager to continue our learning exchange. As Maya returned to her own ship that night, she couldn't stop thinking about the touch they had shared, or the way Zara looked at her like she was a puzzle he desperately wanted to solve. She lay in her bunk staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of their encounter. Something had started today that went far beyond first contact between two species. Maya could feel it in every cell of her body, a pull toward the mysterious alien who had somehow awakened feelings she never knew she possessed. Tomorrow, she would step aboard an alien vessel, telling herself it was for science. But deep in her heart, she knew she was following something much more powerful and dangerous than simple curiosity. The stars outside her windows seemed brighter tonight, as if they'd sensed that everything was about to change. Maya stepped aboard the celestial ship 3 days later, her heart pounding with nervous excitement. The moment she crossed the threshold, she knew she was entering a completely different world. Everything around her seemed alive. The walls pulsed with gentle light, and the air itself felt charged with energy. Zara waited for her in what he called the greeting chamber. When he saw her, his skin shifted from pearl white to that warm golden color she was beginning to recognize. "Welcome to our home among the stars, Maya of Earth." "It's incredible," Maya whispered. Looking around in wonder, the ship felt more like being inside a giant organism than a machine. "How does it all work?" "Our vessels grow rather than being built. We nurture them from seed ships until they become what you see." Zara gestured for her to follow him deeper into the ship. "Come, let me show you wonders your people have never imagined." Over the following weeks, Maya spent every possible moment aboard the celestial vessel. She learned that Zara's people didn't just travel through space, they danced with it, riding currents of energy that humans couldn't even detect. Their entire culture was built around harmony and connection, both with each other and with the universe itself. But Maya found herself most fascinated by Zara himself. He was brilliant, sharing knowledge that made her own expertise seem primitive. Yet he was also gentle and curious about everything human. He would spend hours asking about Earth customs, about human emotions, about the way her people experienced life. "Your species feels everything so intensely," Zara told her one day as they walked through the ship's garden chamber. Living walls surrounded them, covered in plants that glow with soft bioluminescence. "We can sense the strength of your emotions from great distances. It is overwhelming sometimes." "Overwhelming in a bad way?" Maya asked, worried she had somehow offended his people. Zara stopped walking and turned to face her. His skin flickered through several colors before settling on deep gold. "No, Maya, not bad, different, powerful. When you are near, I feel things I have never experienced before." Maya's breath caught in her throat. "What kind of things?" "I cannot explain in words your mind would understand. But when you touched my hand that first day, something awakened in me, something my people would say is impossible." They stood there in the glowing garden, the air thick with tension and unspoken feelings. Maya could see the conflict in Zara's beautiful eyes. Desire, warring with duty, curiosity fighting against fear. Zara, she said softly, I feel it too. Whatever happened when we touched? It changed something in me as well. His skin pulsed brighter. And Maya realized she was beginning to read his emotional responses through these color changes. Right now, he was experiencing something intense and complicated. My people have laws, Zara said finally. Ancient laws about connection with other species. They exist to protect us from dangerous influences. And you think I'm dangerous? Maya asked, her creeping into her voice. Not dangerous in the way they mean, Zara replied, moving closer to her. But yes, Maya of Earth, you are the most dangerous being I have ever encountered. You make me question everything I have been taught. You make me want things that are forbidden. The Festival of Stellar Harmony happened 2 weeks into Maya's extended stay. Zara explained that it was a time when his people celebrated their connection to the universe and to each other. The entire ship transformed for the occasion, walls becoming transparent to show the star field outside, while bioluminescent decorations created patterns of light everywhere. Maya wore a simple dress that Zara's people had grown for her, a living fabric that responded to her emotions with subtle color shifts. She felt like she was part of a fairy tale, as Zara led her through chambers filled with celebrating celestials. The festival included a ritual where participants shared emotions through touch, creating waves of joy and peace that spread throughout the ship. Maya watched in amazement as celestials joined hands and their skin began to glow in synchronized patterns. Can humans participate? She asked Zara. It has never been attempted. He replied, his voice uncertain. The sharing of feelings through touch is very intimate for my people. And with you, with me what? With you, I fear I might share too much. But as the night continued and the celebration reached its peak, Maya found herself swept up in the magic of the moment. When a group of young celestials invited her to join their sharing circle, she looked to Zara for guidance. His skin was cycling through colors rapidly, a sign of inner turmoil. She had learned to recognize, if you wish to try, I will guide you. But Maya, you must understand, if we join in the sharing, my people will sense what I feel for you. They will know that I have developed feelings that go against our laws. Maya looked into his eyes and made her choice. Then let them know. Zara's skin flashed brilliant white, pure surprise. Maya, you do not understand what you are asking. I understand that I care about you, she said simply. I understand that whatever is happening between us feels more real than anything I've ever experienced. If your people need to know that, then so be it. The sharing ritual began with soft humming that seemed to resonate through Maya's bones. Zara took her hand gently, and immediately she felt that same electric connection they had experienced during first contact, but multiplied tenfold. Waves of emotion washed through her, joy, peace, love, contentment. But underneath the communal feelings, she could sense something deeper and more personal flowing between her and Zara. She felt his wonder at her human warmth, his fascination with her quick-changing emotions, and yes, his growing love for her, despite every law telling him it was wrong. The connection was so intense that Maya lost track of where she ended and Zara began. She felt like they were two halves of something larger, finally made whole. Around them, other celestials began to notice the unique energy they were creating together. Then suddenly, the connection snapped. Maya found herself looking up at a tall, female celestial whose skin was dark with anger. Other community members had stepped back, their expressions shocked and fearful. Zara of the celestial people, the female said, her mental voice cold and commanding. You have violated the ancient laws. This connection with the alien is forbidden and dangerous. Zara moved protectively in front of Maya, his skin now pale with what she was learning meant shame or fear. Luna, please. You do not understand. This is not what the laws were designed to prevent. Is it not? Luna's skin flashed red with anger. You have allowed an alien to touch your very soul. You have shared sacred rituals with one who cannot possibly understand their meaning. And worse, you have developed feelings that threaten the purity of our people. Maya felt like she had been slapped. I never meant any harm. I respect your culture. I was just trying to understand. Understanding and participation are different things, human. You have corrupted one of our finest minds with your alien emotions. Zera's skin blazed with protective anger. Luna, you will not speak to Maya with such disrespect. She has done nothing wrong. Look at yourself, Zera. See how you defend this alien over your own people. This is exactly what the laws exist to prevent. Maya watched in growing horror as more Celestials gathered, all staring at her with mixtures of fear and disgust. She had gone from honored guest to dangerous contamination in a matter of minutes. I should go, Maya said quietly, her heart breaking as she saw the conflict tearing Zera apart. No, Zera said firmly, taking her hand again. His skin immediately brightened at the contact, and Maya heard several Celestials gasp in shock. Maya, do not let their fear convince you that what we feel is wrong. But Luna was already activating a communication device. I must report this violation to the Council immediately, and the humans must be informed that their representative has corrupted one of our people. As Luna spoke rapidly in the celestial language, Maya felt her world falling apart. She had found something beautiful and pure with Zera, and now it was being twisted into something shameful and dangerous. I'm sorry, she whispered to Zera. I never wanted to cause you trouble. Zera's hand tightened on hers. Maya, listen to me. What we have discovered together is not wrong. No matter what they say, love cannot be a corruption. But even as he spoke those brave words, Maya could see the fear in his eyes. They both knew that their beautiful connection had just become the most dangerous thing in both their worlds. 3 days after the festival disaster, Maya sat in her quarters aboard the Aurora, staring out at the stars. Captain Johnson had received formal complaints from the Celestial Council, and Maya was now forbidden from returning to their ship. But that didn't stop her from thinking about Zera every moment of every day. A soft chime at her door interrupted her thoughts. Come in, she called, expecting one of her research assistants. Instead, Zera materialized in her doorway, his skin dim with sadness. Maya's heart leaped at the sight of him. How did you get here? She whispered, rushing to him. I convinced them I needed to apologize to you personally for the incident, he said, his mental voice heavy with emotion. It was not entirely untrue. I am sorry, Maya, but not for the reasons they think. You don't need to apologize for anything, Maya said, taking his hands without hesitation. The moment they touched, both of their bodies responded, his skin brightening, her pulse racing. I'm the one who ruined everything. You ruined nothing. You showed me what connection truly means. Zera moved closer, his eyes intense. Maya, I cannot stop thinking about you. When we shared emotions at the festival, I felt complete for the first time in my life. How can something so beautiful be forbidden? Maya felt tears forming in her eyes. Because people fear what they don't understand. Both our peoples do. Then let them fear. Zera said, pulling her closer. I have spent my entire life following rules made by others, but what I feel for you comes from something deeper than law or custom. Before Maya could respond, Zera leaned down and pressed his lips to hers. The kiss was electric, sending waves of sensation through both their bodies. Maya could feel Zera's emotions flowing into her, love, desire, desperate need. And underneath it all, a connection so profound it took her breath away. When they finally broke apart, Zera's skin was cycling through colors Maya had never seen before, deep purples and brilliant golds that pulsed with his heartbeat. Stay with me tonight, Maya whispered, knowing she was asking him to risk everything. Zera's response was to kiss her again, pouring all his feelings into the contact. And Maya knew that despite the dangers, despite the laws and the fear and the consequences, she would not give up what they had found together. Over the following weeks, Zera found ways to visit Maya in secret. They spent hours talking, learning about each other's worlds and dreams. Maya discovered that Zera was not just any celestial. He was a keeper of ancient knowledge, one of the most respected minds of his generation. That made his choice to risk everything for her even more meaningful. Their physical connection deepened as well. Maya learned that Celestials experience touch differently than humans. Every contact was magnified. every sensation shared between them. When Zara held her, she could feel his emotions as clearly as her own. When they kissed, it was like their souls were speaking to each other, but their secret couldn't last forever. Luna had been watching Zara carefully since the festival incident. When she noticed his frequent absences and the way his skin glowed with contentment afterward, she began to investigate. It didn't take long for her to discover that he was visiting the human ship. Maya and Zara were in her quarters, sharing quiet conversation and gentle touches. When Captain Johnson's voice crackled over the communication system, Dr. Reeves, report to the bridge immediately. We have a situation with our celestial guests. Maya and Zara looked at each other with growing dread. They know, Maya whispered. It does not matter, Zara said, though his skin had gone pale. What we have is worth any punishment. When Maya arrived on the bridge, she found Captain Johnson facing a holographic projection of Luna and several other celestial leaders there. Expressions were cold with anger. Dr. Reeves, Luna said, her mental voice cutting. You have seduced one of our people into violating sacred laws. This is an act of aggression against our entire species. That's not true, Maya protested. Whatever is between Zara and me developed naturally. No one seduced anyone. Zara has admitted to repeated violations of our contact laws, another celestial leader said. He has allowed you to corrupt his mind with alien emotions. This is exactly what our ancestors warned us against. Captain Johnson looked grim. Maya, I'm sorry, but the Celestials are demanding your arrest for cultural contamination. Earth Command is ordering your immediate return for court-martial. Maya felt her world crashing down around her. Sir, please, you have to understand. What Zara and I have found together could be the key to better relations between our species. Or it could be the thing that destroys any chance of alliance, Captain Johnson replied sadly. I'm sorry, Maya. I have my orders. As security officers moved toward her, Zara suddenly appeared on the bridge, his skin blazing with protective anger. You will not take her, he said. Moving to stand between Maya and the guards, Zara, Luna said sharply, you are making this worse. Return to our ship immediately. I will not abandon Maya to face punishment for feelings we both chose to explore. Then you will share her fate, Luna replied coldly. The council has voted. You are exiled from our people, effective. Immediately, you will be taken to the void between stars and left to contemplate the consequences of your choices. Maya gasped in horror. She had learned enough about celestial culture to know that exile was the cruelest punishment they could inflict. Being cut off from their mental connections with each other would slowly drive Zara insane. No, Maya said, struggling against the security officers. Please, punish me, but don't hurt him. He did nothing wrong. On the contrary, Luna said, he did everything wrong. And now both of your species will see the danger of allowing such connections to form. As Maya was led away in restraints and Zara was surrounded by celestial guards, they locked eyes across the bridge. In that moment, despite everything falling apart around them, Maya felt the strength of their connection. Whatever happened next, what they had found together was real and true. I love you, she whispered, knowing Zara would hear her thoughts. And I love you, his voice echoed in her mind. That love is stronger than any law or punishment. But as they were separated, both knew they were about to face the greatest test of their lives. Their love had become the catalyst for a conflict that could destroy any hope of peace between their peoples. Now they would have to find a way to prove that connection could triumph over fear, or lose each other forever. Maya sat in a cold metal cell on Earth, 3 months after being separated from Zara. The military prison was nothing like the warm, living spaces of the celestial ship. Everything here was hard edges and harsh lights, designed to break spirits, rather than nurture them. But what truly tormented Maya wasn't the physical discomfort. It was the emptiness where Zara's presence used to be. For weeks after their separation, she had felt nothing, no warmth, no connection, no sense of his emotions flowing alongside her own. She had begun to believe that their bond was truly broken. Then, one night, she felt it again. Maya was lying on her narrow bunk, staring at the ceiling, when suddenly warmth flooded through her mind. It was faint, like hearing a whisper across a great distance, but unmistakably Zara. Maya. His voice echoed in her thoughts, weak but filled with love. Can you hear me? Maya sat up so quickly she nearly fell off the bunk. Zara, how's this possible? I do not know, but even in the void, I can feel you. Your human spirit burns so brightly that it crosses any distance. Tears streamed down Maya's face as she felt his presence more clearly. Are you hurt? Where are they keeping you? I am in a transport pod, drifting in empty space between star systems. But Maya, do not worry for me. I have discovered something amazing. Our connection grows stronger with time, not weaker. Maya closed her eyes and concentrated, trying to sense more of what Zara was experiencing. Gradually, she began to feel what he felt, the cold of space around his pod, the loneliness of exile, but also something else. A peace that came from knowing their love transcended physical separation. They said our bond was impossible, Maya whispered. But here we are, talking across the galaxy. More than talking, Zara replied. I can feel your courage, your determination. It gives me strength when the isolation becomes overwhelming. From that night forward, Maya and Zara met in their dreams and meditations. The connection wasn't constant. It took great effort and concentration, but it was real. Through their shared experiences, they began to understand that something unprecedented had happened when they fell in love. Meanwhile, Maya's case was causing chaos on Earth. Dr. James Chen, her mentor and friend, had been studying the recordings of her interactions with the Celestials. What he found challenged everything humans thought they knew about alien contact. The brain scans are incredible, James told Maya during one of his visits to the prison. When you and Zara touched, both your neural patterns change permanently. It's like you develop new pathways specifically for communicating with his species. What does that mean? Maya asked, though she suspected she already knew. It means you and Zara didn't just fall in love, you evolved together. You became something new, a bridge between human and celestial consciousness. James pulled out a tablet showing complex charts and graphs. I've been analyzing the data from the festival sharing ritual. Maya, when you connected with Zara, you didn't just share emotions. You shared actual thoughts and memories. That should be impossible according to everything we know about human brain function. Maya felt hope stirring in her chest for the first time in months. Are you saying our connection is scientifically significant? I'm saying it might be the most important discovery in human history. If humans and Celestials can truly bond at this level, it could revolutionize how both our species understand consciousness itself. But James's research was controversial. Many Earth leaders viewed my situation as a cautionary tale about the dangers of alien contact. General Harrison, who was leading the investigation into her case, believed that Maya had been somehow corrupted or controlled by alien influence. Dr. Reeves represents everything we were warned about, Harrison told the military tribunal judging her case. She has allowed an alien entity to access her mind and emotions. We cannot trust that she is still fully human. Maya stood before the panel of judges, wearing prison clothes but holding her head high. General Harrison, I'm more human than I have ever been. My connection with Zara hasn't diminished my humanity. It has shown me what humanity can become when we choose love over fear. Pretty words, Harrison sneered. But how do we know they're your words and not alien programming? Before Maya could respond, James burst into the courtroom. I have evidence, he announced, holding up a communication device, evidence that changes everything. The device crackled to life, and suddenly the room filled with voices, not just human voices, but celestial ones as well. Young members of both species were speaking out, demanding that their governments reconsider the policies that had separated Maya and Zara. My name is Dr. Lisa Park, one human voice said. I've been working with Dr. Chen to analyze the Maya-Zara connection. We've discovered that their bond isn't unique, it's reproducible. Other humans and Celestials can form similar connections if given the chance. A celestial voice followed, translated into human speech. I'm Kai of the Celestial People, And I speak for many young ones who believe the old laws are wrong. Zara and the human Maya have shown us that connection brings strength, not weakness. Maya's heart pounded as she recognized the voice. It was Zara's younger sister, the one he had told her about during their secret meetings. The exile of my brother is a crime against the very principles our people claim to uphold, Kai continued. Love should be celebrated, not punished. Understanding should be sought, not feared. General Harrison looked furious. This is irrelevant. We're not here to debate policy, but to determine if Dr. Reeves is a security threat. Actually, General, the tribunal's lead judge said, this is exactly what we need to hear. Dr. Chen, what can you tell us about the security implications of this connection? James stepped forward confidently. Your Honor, my research shows that human celestial bonding could be the key to unprecedented advances in medicine, communication, and space exploration. Instead of viewing Maya as a threat, we should be studying her to understand how we can build better relationships with our new allies. As the hearing continued, Maya felt Zara's presence growing stronger in her mind. Somehow, their separation and the attention focused on their connection was making their bond more powerful, not weaker. Maya, Zara's voice whispered in her thoughts, I can sense what is happening. Do not lose hope. Change is coming. Maya smiled for the first time in months. I can feel it too. We started something that's bigger than both of us now. The tribunal ultimately decided to postpone Maya's sentencing pending further investigation. But more importantly, both Earth and the celestial leadership agreed to establish a joint commission to study human celestial bonding. As Maya was returned to her cell that night, she felt a strange mix of emotions. She was still in prison, Zara was still in exile, and their future remained uncertain. But for the first time since their separation, she truly believed that their love might be strong enough to change two entire worlds. Hold on. My love, she whispered into the darkness, knowing Zara would hear her across the vast emptiness of space. We're going to prove that connection is stronger than fear. In the void between stars, Zara's exile pod drifted silently through space. But inside, he smiled, his skin glowing with hope. Their love had survived separation, imprisonment, and the condemnation of both their peoples. Now it was time to show the universe what two hearts united could accomplish. The rescue ship appeared like a silver star against the blackness of space. Maya pressed her face against the viewing window, her heart racing as she watched the sleek vessel approach the coordinates where Zara's exile pod was drifting. It had taken 6 months of careful planning, but James and Kai had finally convinced a group of progressive humans and Celestials to mount a rescue mission. Maya had escaped from Earth's military prison just 3 days earlier, with the help of sympathizers who believed in what she and Zara represented. There, whispered Captain Torres, the human pilot who had volunteered for this dangerous mission. I can see the pod. Maya's breath caught in her throat as the small celestial pod came into view. It looked so fragile against the vast emptiness of space inside that tiny vessel. Zara had been alone for 8 months, cut off from his peoples, mental network, and surviving on minimal life support. Is he alive? Maya asked, her voice barely audible. Kai, who was monitoring celestial bio readings, nodded with relief. His life signs are weak but stable. Zara is a strong one. He has endured what would have driven most of my people to madness. As their ship connected with the exile pod, Maya felt their mental connection explode back to full strength. The sensation was so overwhelming that she nearly collapsed. 8 months of faint whispers across space suddenly became a flood of shared emotion and thought. Maya, Zara's voice filled her mind, stronger than it had ever been. You came for me. I told you I would, Maya replied, tears streaming down her face. Our love is stronger than any punishment. The pod's airlock cycled open, and Maya rushed. Inside, Zara was there, thinner than before and pale for months without proper sunlight. But his eyes still held that same depth of love and wonder that had captured her from the first moment they met. When they embraced, the connection between them was so powerful that every celestial on the rescue ship gasped in surprise. Maya could feel Zara's relief, his joy, is overwhelming love. But she could also sense something new. Their bond had grown during their separation, becoming something even more profound than before. Impossible, breathed Dr. Ava Stone, a human researcher who had joined the rescue mission. The energy readings are off the charts. It's like they're generating some kind of psychic field. Kai approached them carefully, her own skin glowing with amazement. In all our history, we have never seen anything like this. Brother, what have you become? Zara looked at his sister while keeping his arms around Maya. We have become what we were always meant to be. Not human, not celestial, but something new. Something that shows both our peoples what connection truly means. The rescue ship raced toward neutral space, where a secret colony had been established by humans and celestials, who believed in the possibility of interspecies cooperation. Maya and Zara spent the journey sharing their experiences of separation and the growth of their bond across impossible distances. When they exiled me, Zara explained to the gathered researchers, I thought I would lose my mind within days. Celestials are not meant to exist in isolation, but Maya's presence in my thoughts kept me anchored. Her human strength became my strength. Maya nodded, holding his hand as his skin cycled through warm, peaceful colors, and Zara's connection taught me that consciousness isn't limited by physical boundaries. When we focus on our love, we can share thoughts and feelings as if we're touching, no matter how far apart we are. Dr. Stone was recording everything, her excitement obvious. Do you realize what this means? You've essentially proven that consciousness can exist independently of physical brains. The implications for science, for philosophy, for our understanding of life itself. But their reunion was interrupted by urgent communications from both Earth and the celestial homeworld. News of Zara's rescue had spread, and both governments were demanding the return of their fugitive citizens. They're sending warships, Captain Torres reported grimly. Both human and celestial fleets are converging on our position. Maya felt fear creep into her heart, but Zara squeezed her hand reassuringly. Do not be afraid. We have allies now, and more importantly, we have proof that our love benefits both our peoples. Over the following weeks, as the secret colony became the center of a tense standoff between two space fleets, Maya and Zara worked with other bonded couples to demonstrate the positive effects of human-celestial connections. They discovered that bonded pairs could solve complex problems faster than either species could alone. Combining human creativity with celestial wisdom, they could communicate across vast distances without technology, and they seemed to develop enhanced abilities in both telepathy and emotional intelligence. Most importantly, the children being born to mixed couples were healthy and gifted with abilities that surpassed both parent species. These children could speak to both humans and celestials with equal ease, and they seemed naturally inclined toward peace and understanding. Look at what we've created, Maya told the assembled representatives from both governments, who had finally agreed to visit the colony for negotiations. She gestured to a group of children playing together, some human, some celestial, some mixed. These children don't see differences between species. They see family. The negotiations were tense and difficult. Many leaders on both sides still viewed interspecies bonding as dangerous and unnatural, but the evidence was overwhelming. The bonded couples were not only healthy and happy, but they were achieving breakthroughs in science, technology, and understanding that neither species could accomplish alone. The turning point came when Luna, the celestial who had first reported Maya and Zara, arrived at the colony. She had come to demand Zara's return for further punishment. But what she found changed her mind completely. I felt your connection the moment I stepped off my ship, Luna told them, her skin flickering with confusion and wonder. It reaches across the entire colony. Every person here, human and celestial alike, seems touched by the harmony you've created. Zara approached his former accuser with compassion. Luna, you were right to fear change. But change itself is not the enemy. Fear of change is. We have not been corrupted by our love. We have been enhanced by it. Luna spent 3 days at the colony, observing the bonded couples and their children. When she finally spoke to the Joint Council, Her words carried the weight of conversion. "I came here believing I would find contamination and corruption," she admitted. "Instead, I have found evolution. These bonds do not weaken our species. They show us what we can become when we choose unity over separation." The final ceremony took place on the one-year anniversary of Maya and Zara's first meeting. Representatives from both governments attended as Maya and Zara were officially bonded in a ceremony that combined human and celestial traditions. Maya wore a dress of living fabric that responded to her emotions with gentle colors, while Zara's formal robes shifted through every hue of joy and love as they spoke their vows. "You taught me that love has no boundaries," Maya said, her voice carrying across the assembled crowd. "Not between species, not across space, not even between different ways of experiencing consciousness." Zara's response made his skin glow like captured starlight. "And you taught me that strength comes not from isolation, but from connection. That diversity creates beauty, and beauty creates hope." As they sealed their bond with a kiss, every celestial in attendance felt the wave of pure joy and love that radiated from the couple. The psychic impact was so powerful that it reached the ships orbiting overhead, touching the hearts of even the most skeptical observers. In the years that followed, the colony grew into a thriving city. Maya and Zara became leaders in the new field of interspecies relations, helping other couples navigate the challenges and rewards of cross-species bonding. Their own relationship deepened beyond anything they had imagined possible. They could share not just emotions and thoughts, but memories and dreams. They learned from each other's perspectives in ways that made them both more than they had been. Alone, 5 years after that first touch in the meeting room, Maya stood in the observation deck of their shared home, watching human and celestial children play together under alien stars. Zara joined her, wrapping his arms around her as his skin glowed with contentment. "Do you ever regret it?" Maya asked. "Everything we went through, everything we sacrificed?" Zara's mental voice was warm with absolute certainty. "Never. We chose love when it would have been easier to choose fear. We chose connection when both our peoples demanded separation. And look what we created." Maya leaned back against him, feeling the strength of their bond flowing between them. Their love had indeed transformed a species, showing them that the universe was vast enough for all kinds of consciousness to thrive together. In the distance, a new ship was arriving, another group of mixed couples seeking the freedom to love without boundaries. Maya and Zara smiled, knowing that their greatest adventure was just beginning. They had proven that love could transcend any barrier, and now they would spend their lives helping others discover the same truth. Their story had become legend among both humans and celestials, proof that when two hearts choose to connect despite impossible odds, they can literally change the universe. And in the growing city below them, that change continued every day, one connection at a